home gym or a public gym? Now, this is a widely discussed topic, and today I'm just going to be giving out my personal thoughts on this topic. Now, I personally work out in the home gym, so I'm basically inclined to be more biased towards the home gyms, but I'll try to keep it genuine, try to make it so that everything is fair. So, yeah, today I'm just going to give my take on home gym versus public gym. Alrighty, guys, let's start with the pros of the home gym. So, one of the biggest pros is how convenient it is. All you basically have to do is just to take a few steps and then you're already in your home gym. You can start working out. So this is probably one of the biggest pros. It's very time convenient. If you're tight on time, then the home gym is very great. You don't have to drive, you don't have to walk, you don't have to take the bus to the gym. But when you have a home gym, all you have to do is just, again, take a few steps. And once you're in that home gym, then you can start working out. Now, pro number 2 is that it is very clean. Only you or maybe some of your family members are going to work out in there. So it's generally going to be very clean. The dumbbells might be less rusty, the barbells might be less rusty. It might not smell like sweat all of the time. But yeah, it's just generally going to be a lot cleaner. So if you like more sanitary conditions, then make sure to start a home gym. And the last one, number 3, is that you don't have to wait for machines and there's basically no one around to compare yourself with. It's just you versus yourself. So if you have the tendency to compare yourself with other people often, then maybe consider working out in a home gym. And with the machines thing, I've been to a gym a couple of times and I've been waiting for the benches for a while. Sometimes it takes up to 10 to 20 minutes to use the bench. And there's also other people waiting, so it's kind of annoying too. Kind of puts pressure on you once you get on the bench and start doing your set. So basically, when you work out at home, it's very flexible. All right, so now that I've gone through the pros of a home gym, I'm going to go through the cons of a home gym. Now, probably the biggest reason on why people don't use home gyms is that they don't have a good enough budget. Like, they only have $50 for a budget. They can only buy a few light dumbbells. So you have to have a pretty high budget in order to actually have a gym. Now, personally, my dad just buys equipment when they're all on sale. So we buy it for a pretty cheap price. So it's pretty much fine for us. So if you want to start a home gym, make sure to look up for products that are on sale, that are good quality to buy. The second con is that you need a pretty medium to big space. Now, I am very blessed to actually have a huge space downstairs where the gym is. I have like this big room that's completely clear. So we just put all our machines, all of our benches, all of our dumbbells in there. And if you guys are curious on how my home gym looks like, make sure to click the video down in the description below and I'll link it there. So if you guys are curious on how my home gym looks like, you can see. But you need a decent to a big amount of space. Because if you're going to use benches, you're going to use dumbbells, you need a pretty decent sized space in order to fit all of those stuff. So yeah, if you don't really have that much space, then it's going to be pretty hard to start a home gym. And the last one, number 3, is also a pretty big factor on why people don't work out at home. And it's because that's harder to progressive overload and there's also less equipment, less machines. And the reason why this is bad is that if you want to get stronger, if you want to build your dream body, it's going to be a lot harder if you work out in a home gym. Because again, with the budget thing, if you don't have a lot of budget and you don't have any like heavyweight dumbbells, then it's going to be very hard to progressive overload. So if you're just looking to stay fit, then maybe working out in home is a great thing. But if you're looking to build your dream body, then make sure to go to the gym. I am probably going to go to the gym in maybe around a year. But again, it's pretty time inconvenient, so I don't really know when. All right, guys, now let's get to the pros of a public gym. Now, probably one of the biggest pros is that there's a lot of machines. There's a variety of dumbbells. There's bench press machines. There's tricep extension machines, or whatever they're called. I'm not really sure or familiar with the gym terms because I don't go to one. But with my experience there, I've seen a lot of machines that I've never seen before. It's pretty cool. I've tried it before, and it's very easy to feel that mind to muscle connection, especially on the chest and on the back, which are probably two of the hardest muscles to feel that mind to muscle connection. So yeah, one of the biggest things is that it's very easy to progressive overload. So if you want strength gains or anything else, then maybe going to the gym is a great idea. Now, the second pro, I kind of already touched on this, is progressive overload. There's going to be a bunch of dumbbells ranging from like 5 pounds to 100 pounds to even more. So it's very easy to progressive overload. Same with machines too, those adjustable machines. It's very easy to progressive overload. Same with bench press too. Basically every single exercise you can progressive overload, which is very great since progressive overload is very good for building the muscles. Now, pro number 3, I already talked about this too, but your strength gains will go up a bunch because of the heavy equipment you use, the heavy dumbbells you use, since, there really isn't a limited amount of stuff that you can't use. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of dumbbells, a bunch of machines that you can use that will make your strength gains go up very quickly than that of working out at home. Alrighty guys, now let's get to the cons of going to a gym. Now, probably the reason why I don't go to the gym is because of how inconvenient it is. Probably the closest gym that I live towards is maybe like a 8 to 10 minute drive. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty inconvenient. When I work out at home, it'll take an hour, but if I take a drive there, take a drive back, and everything, it'll probably take up to an hour and 30 minutes, which takes up a decent amount of my time. So that's why I don't go to the gym. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys work out at home because it's convenient and you want to balance your time out well. Con number 2, I've talked about this a little bit, but you just have to wait for your machines. When I went with a friend a few weeks ago, we had to wait for the bench press machines, which was kind of annoying. There was also other people waiting for it. So once you get on the machine, it's going to put a bunch of pressure towards yourself. So yeah, if you're looking to have machines to yourself and you don't want other people's pressure put on you, then just work out in a home gym. But if you don't really care or this con doesn't really matter to you, then a public gym is totally fine. Now, the last one, number 3, this happened to me the first time I went there, and it is the tendency to ego lift. Once you see all the 50 pounds, all the 60 pounds, all of the dumbbells, how high the machines can go, the bench presses, you're going to have the tendency to ego lift. This is what I did, bro. And, I did some rows, I think, and I went 50 pounds for those rows, and I barely felt it on my back. So, I don't know. It was a 1-arm row, I believe, but still, I had the tendency to ego lift. Same with bicep curls, too. I went 35 pounds for bicep curls, which was way too much for me. I could only do 5 reps, which wasn't even that good. But yeah, the tendency to ego lift will go up since there's a broader range of equipment and also a broader range of the weights. All right, now, since I've already listed out the pros and the cons, do I think that a public gym is better than a home gym? Now, I feel like this depends, because if you have a lot of work, for example, if you have a lot of schoolwork that you need to get in right now, then probably going to the home gym would be better. But if you don't really have that much schoolwork, which is me right now, then you should probably go to a public gym. But again, I'm kind of lazy to do it, especially after school. And before school, I just won't really get used to it. So I'm just sticking with the home gym right now. I might go to a public gym maybe next year, but I honestly don't know. At that time, I'll be taking APs. So it'll be kind of hard to balance everything, especially with YouTube right here. So again, I don't really know. I don't really know which one's better. It all comes down to preference. But in my opinion, I prefer the home gym than the public gym. Alrighty guys, hopefully I didn't offend you guys with any of that. I'm sorry if I did. But if you enjoyed the video and you want more of these, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more fitness, self-improvement, mindset, vlog, all of that type of stuff. So yeah, this is going to be a video, and I'll see you guys next one.